Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode from TCG 353. My name is Jamie. Today we are playing a blue-red Marco list that I put together for you guys. You commented in the comments for it, and here it is. A lot of strong removal, really good combo potential, and a good bit of fun. You know, some good old-fashioned fun. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want to subscribe, I would appreciate it. Let's talk about this first game here now. We use EZO at the start to search out Phoenix Pyroapple, which is the main source of removal for this deck. We can bottom deck 3000 powers or less, which is useful for us against Shanks. One of the cards that comes to mind is Lucky Root, that can on KO one of your bodies. They wouldn't be able to do that if we have this on board, for example. We search and we take the Ore Junior, and with that we have a 7k swing for our opponent's leader. They choose to take. That would be the smart choice. Here we don't filter our hand with leader ability, but that is oftentimes an option. And we are going to use the EZO searcher ability to take a 2k and bottom deck Phoenix Pyroapple. Next turn we have an easy option to remove the Yasop. However, we choose instead to build our board, and building the board is definitely the smart choice here. So giving an opponent minus 3000 on is going to do nothing for us. Swinging 6 doesn't do much either unless we attach Arrestodon with the event, and we don't, so that's all well and good as well. But we did use our leader ability to filter our hand a little bit. Looking quite strong for counter, and also the 8k cards in hand are 2k counters now, which is really useful. And here you'll see that Ores just became a 2k counter for us. Now here we have the Phoenix Pyroapple, as I talked about earlier. They did KO the Ace, and we could have got rid of the Lucky Root before it did that. However, them KOing the Ace doesn't break our hearts all that much, because we get a search off of it, and also because we can attach, or we can KO the Yasop now quite easily. So we're deciding here on what we want to put at the bottom of our deck. We actually put the Ace there. I believe in this game, I wasn't fully clued into the power of that 5-cost Ace. If I was, I would have bottom decked the Lucky Root at the start and then swung into the Yasop. But look, what can you do? They use the Rayleigh ability, and they're able to get rid of the Ace Sabo and Luffy, which is a shame, because it was a good solid option for us to be able to KO most everything that they have on board. Here now we have the option to use the 9-cost into the 8-cost, and that's exactly what we do. You see the Sanji pull out the 8-cost, and we can minus 6000 power to Rayleigh and KO it with the Newgate. This is literally the whole point of this deck being so good, is that we have really strong combo potential exactly like that. Now it's a shame our opponent did get to KO that 10-cost, or that 8-cost 10k, so we're no longer a double attack leader. They used their own Ace Sabo and Luffy to minus 3k to our Newgate and swing 7 into it. They leave 1 down standing, so I presume they have an event to use. We don't have an event of our own, but we do have counter enough to protect this. We're just considering how we want to go about this next turn now. Here our opponent uses their last on for an Uta, and they search out 2k, so it seems like their hand is kind of okay in terms of counter now. Play out a Moby Dick Raw just to search, and we get 3 of the choppers. Or we get another 3-cost chopper, I mean. Here we'll attach it on with the stage, and we'll minus 2k to Ben Beckman even, and play out 2 of the 3-cost blockers, so we're pretty safe now in terms of how our opponent can go for lethal next turn. We'll swing 7, they give us a leader ability and 2k, and we'll swing 9 and they take that. So if they use like a Shanks Rush now, for example, which they do, we actually have a good chance of protecting 1 of our bodies. and we will choose which one. It's a shame that the Phoenix Fire Apple does not cover characters. That's the only thing really. And in an ideal world, we'll be able to keep it up. Ideal world, we'll be able to keep one in hand because we do want to protect our life. That's why we didn't use it there. You see here, they swing 12 into our 7, and we have a blocker for that, which we will use happily enough. And they swing 8 into 12, and we have a block for that, which we'll use. Right now, we have a few options, to be fair, and the best option in my mind is giving an active Don to our leader and bottom decking the Ben Beckman and just going for game. Seems pretty good to me. We're going to swing 8 first because us swinging 7 means that they can leader building in 2k quite easily, but here they have to go about it a different way. And now we swing 9 and we swing 10 for game. Good game to our opponent. We got very, very strong combo towards the game, and we had removal pretty consistently throughout the game because we kept those Phoenix Fire Apples in hand. It is classically raining in Ireland. I think 5 minutes ago, even less. When I started recording this video, yeah, 6 minutes ago, it was sun shining. Here we are going up against Red Blue Ace now, and we are going first. We are able to use a Moby Dick out and search. We have the 2-cost Luffy that allows us to attach a rested onto leader, and we swing 6 into our opponent, leaving 1 not standing because if they're going to use leader ability, they're going to use leader ability. Here we play out the Ace on 5-cost and decide on what we want to choose to use. We choose the 4-cost Oars because having a blocker in hand is useful, and also we have a 7-cost on curve anyway. It's looking like 7-cost into a 9-cost. Sanji would be a good idea. Bit of a stutter there. We can get rid of the Marco next turn as well with our Newgate that we are soon going to have in hand or have on the board, so that's good. Our opponent has an Atmos. They drew that from the ESO, which is a shame really, because that means that they can use an Atmos now and bounce our Ace back to hand. We still go with the Newgate. There is an argument to play out the Ace again. Oh, sorry, they bounced the 2-cost Luffy back to hand, which is fine. And we minus 2,000 power to the Marco, and they actually just let that go. Like, they didn't have to, in all fairness, but they just chose to get the draw 2 instead. And we'll swing 6 into our opponent's life then. They'll just give us 1k counter for that, and we are happy enough. Our board state is better than our opponents at the moment, but they are Newgate users, so they use the 8-cost event and swing 8 into our life. Possible that they'll swing into Ace, and we'll just give them 2k and a 1k here. Here now we have, yeah, so this is the biggest shame about the next turn, is that we can't attach a Rested Dawn because we haven't used a Rested Dawn yet, you understand? So having the 2-cost Luffy on board wouldn't have mattered either. We needed to be on 10 cost to be able to use the combo that we talked about. So rather than doing that combo, we instead use the Ace to search, and we use leader ability to bottom deck one of the 8 costs. What is a shame as well is that we have 9k power and a 10,000 power in hand. Only 1 8k power, so that's only, or 2 8k power, so that's 2 2ks in all fairness, but it still isn't great. Now that being said, we do have a very nice option for removal next turn, and that is Mold Pistol into leader ability, and that can then KO, or that can get the Newgate down to maybe like 4. What's that? Very little, basically. They choose to swing with the Newgate, and we take the block from that. And now we are in a pretty nice spot, so we can Mold Pistol and KO the ESO, which is nice. And then we can attach it down to leader and minus the Uta, so that we can KO that as well, if we choose to. The line we do go for, however, is using the Newgate, which minuses 6k power to the the Newgate on the board, so that is a Newgate now. That is about 4,000 power, and we have a 6k swing for it, a 6k swing for it, and an 8k swing for it. So our opponent would have to give us 2, 4, 7 cards in hand, I think, for that to protect this, which could be useful, which could be worth it for them, but they choose not to, which is very good for us. And now we have an 8k swing for them. That is double attack, but I'm sure, given that they have 1 million cards in hand, that they'll be able to counter out pretty soundly. So we'll swing in just for the fun of it. Our opponent counters 1k, and I'm thinking we're going to pass. There it is, we pass. Opponent searches out with a Garp. We'll see what they got. They got a Zoro, and they play that out immediately, which is really annoying. They did swing into the ace, so we were able to get a 2k counter from that. So it's not the end of the world really, but their leader is 8k power now, which is a bit frustrating. They swing 10 to 8, and they swing 9 into 5. We take that. And here, so we could go and try and remove their board with leader ability and 2 of the mole guns. The only thing is, and the blunder that was made here, is that we took the hit last turn, and if we didn't take the hit last turn, then we wouldn't be under the fare of a Goldie Roger next turn, and we could actually remove one of their Zoros and set up a blocker to make it more difficult for them to get lethal next turn. We also could have played out another Moby Dick to search out for like another counter card, and we could have survived, or we could have come close to surviving. Anyway, it came so close that our opponent just had the right amount to counter, just a little bit more in fact, so well done to them. But I do think that we had a better chance than what we gave ourselves in that, and that's why I included that game. Also, it was a good showcase of our deck. Let's talk about this game now against Green Jinbe. I believe now this could be the last game of the video. So if you liked it so far, do leave a like. Shout out to the subscriber who requested this deck, because it has been a lot of fun to play. I will tell you guys honestly that it isn't going to be topping any charts or winning any tournaments anytime soon. The reason I think that is because it is, I wouldn't say inconsistent. Maybe my list isn't great. Maybe it's a me problem. Maybe I could cut down on Rayleighs maybe. But it just feels like it's very high rolling. I do rate having the Sanji in there because it's such a cool combo piece, but maybe the stylishness of how I want this deck to be isn't actually what this deck wants to be itself. Who knows? Anyway, we are able to remove the Zoro, which always stands up with a Phoenix Pyre-Apple and leader ability, very strong. If you've ever played against this Zoro, you know that it is frustrating to come up against 100%, so we are able to get rid of that. Also, just a side note, it's really fun to see a Jinbe on this. They're able to consistently restand their blockers and their event. But here we are able to consistently remove that stupid Zoro. Place on deck, top or bottom. We're going to keep that Phoenix Pyre-Apple in hand because we want to be able to remove one of their blockers next turn. We'll swing 6 into their life, and our opponent takes. We'll leave 2 of our blockers standing. So our board is definitely looking stronger than our opponents now. We'll see what they do regarding their next turn. I think it's their 7th on turn, so they can probably use one of the big Jinbes, either the blocker Jinbe or the 6-cost Jinbe that character rushes. We'll find out soon. Our opponent is keeping their hand size low so that their leader ability can stay active, which is pretty good. That's a good strategy, I guess. It's a very aggressive strategy, so our board being bigger than theirs now isn't great for them, although our life is at 1, so that is pretty good for them as well. Here we see our opponent uses a Noah's Ark, which is tough, and they start swinging into our bodies. They swing 4 into our Luffy, and we just let that go, and they swing 6 into one of our blockers. We also let that go, and they use a Vanderdecken to KO the Rayleigh, which is an incredibly strong turn for them. Unfortunately here we don't have an AK character, to play out or to use to minus 6k power, and as well it wouldn't have mattered all that much anyway, so there was no point. Our opponent only has 2 cards in hand, so we swing 7 into their life, hoping that it'll go through. High chance it will go through. We leave 1 Don standing for our event, so currently we have 1 blocker, 1 life, 2 2k counters, 1 1k counter, and 1 3k counter for our character. Our opponent takes the double, doesn't choose to block it, and uses Character Rush, probably from a card they got from life there, to KO the chopper. Here our opponent attaches 3 Don to their Vanderdecken when they should have attached 3 Don to their blocker, but I guess they wanted to go 5-5 rather than just one big 7. The 7 probably better though, I'll be honest with you. Here what do we have to do? We are going to turn into a tiny little shell and try and survive. However it happened there, we are able to draw into another ores, which is pretty great, actually pretty good indeed. So we're going to swing 8 into their life for a double attack and see what happens. And now since they have no blocker, we just gotta go for the game. 14. We could have put another ores on the board, and that would have probably meant we got game as well, but we didn't, so that's all well and good. That's why we had 4 Don standing at the end, and it looks like we have 1 more game for you guys. Hope you're enjoying this so far. This game is up against Green Mihawk, and I remember this game fondly. Our opponent is, let me see, our opponent is selecting the turn order, and they are choosing to go first. We're choosing to go second. They have an ideal starting turn that they search with their Perona. They take out a long Beppo, so they have some of their late games sorted now. For us, we choose not to filter our hand because our hand is actually pretty nice at the moment, so we're going to keep that. We have an ores for the second turn, and we have a ace for the third turn, and a Newgate then for our fourth. And all the while we'll be able to search and poke at our opponent as well. The Ores Junior is actually a great card in this deck. 1, it enables you to get the A-cost Newgate ability off more consistently, and 2, it can and often does become an AK blocker. Our opponent makes a bit of a weird choice there that they attach 4 to the Scratch Mana Poo rather than attaching 4 to the Perona. Attaching 4 to the Perona meant I would have to give them a 2k. Here we'll swing 6 and pass the turn. Our opponent takes that. So our opponent has 3 life, we have 3 life, but our board is nicer than theirs, which is good to know. They're definitely late game oriented if they picked up a long Beppo. We all know that Mihawk is a late game oriented deck anyway, but the fact that they haven't been playing out anything big really signifies that even more so. Since they're leaving 7 down, I was expecting to see a Shanks, but I don't think this deck runs that very much anymore, so they use a law to bounce a Scratch Mana Poo back to life and play out a Perona to search a Smoker. So probably looking tough for them at the moment. Here they play out a Laboon, which actually is really annoying because it has very, very strong removal protection. And our deck is pretty much all about removal. So I made the mistake here where I thought if I remove Laboon, then it doesn't protect itself, but it protects all characters with 7,000 power. So that is what happened. We choose not to swing with the ace because I want to keep it standing, because it is useful to have Rayleigh as a 2k counter in my hand. But maybe we could have, in all fairness, just to put on more pressure onto our opponent, get a card out of their hand. Here our opponent is on their 9 on turn. I'm expecting to see a Mihawk, and here it is, and their Mihawk is going to freeze the Newgate, which is definitely a good idea because our Newgate not being able to rest means it can't KO, which is very good. It's not just can't attack, it's can't rest, which completely stops it from using its activate main. Here our opponent swings 5, we take, and swings 6. If they'd swung 9 there, we actually would have been in a bit of trouble, but they didn't, thankfully. Very lucky there that we draw into the 7 cost Newgate so we can activate our Newgate ability. to minus 6k power to that Mihawk. First thing we're going to do here is give the Mihawk minus 2000 power. Really strong. So now it is at 2000 power, and we're going to swing 6 into it first. They'll have to give us a bunch of cards here, either one big event and a counter, etc, etc. They don't choose to do that, which is very good for us, and we swing 10 into 5, asking for 2 events from their hand, which they have 1, and see if they have a second, and they have 2k and 1k. And here, just to be a bit more aggressive, we are considering swinging 8 with the ores, and we swing 8 into the law, because that blocker is going to be annoying next turn, definitely. We also know they have a law and Beppo in hand, so them being able to freeze one of my characters and having a law as a blocker will be annoying to try and get past them for lethal next turn. Also, their opponent being 7k will be tricky as well. Here, this is what's going to happen. Our opponent swings 7 into us, rests a Perona, and uses Luna to freeze a bunch of our cards. So we only have 2 characters here to swing. So this is where I what do you call it when you should have won and you didn't? This is where I should have won and I didn't. What I do here is I attach 4 down to my leader and swing. Okay, we're going to search first. Yeah, this is the best way of doing it here. We're just going to keep searching for a while. So I'm going to attach all this down. 12. So this isn't the turn. I lied. That was a lie. So we got the double attack off and we swing 11 and they take the block here. And now they have 2 swings into us, which could be like an 11 and a 15 if they want to. We have 2 events and we actually have a lot of counter. We have 2, 4, 6, 8 and 2 events. So we have 3, 6, 14k counter. We're pretty confident we can get out of one of their 2 swings. And we would love to see them swinging like that because it would save us pretty much. And here now is the aforementioned blunder. Our opponent chooses what to do with their Don. They play out a law which bounces a card back to their hand, and they play the smoker out, which allows them to active a Don, which they're going to take full advantage of. Our opponent swings 5 into us and we use the Ezo effect first and then trash a 1k for counter. Now our opponent swings 11 into our 10 and we give them counter for that. And finally we'll see what our opponent decides to do. Hits us with another Luna. Now that is tough. So what we do here is we attach it onto leader and we go to KO that law. However, I completely forgot that Laboon was a card. That Laboon existed, that Laboon was ever there, which is very frustrating. But look, we have to make do with what we have, and what we have is a 7k leader and a rested Dons, and 2 more Don attached, so we'll swing 11 first, and we'll see what our opponent gives. They give us the block here, and we'll swing 11 to finish, and they have 3k, 3k, and 1k. Now, what's so annoying here is that, well, we lost, first of all, because there's no way we can defend here, especially not having Don up. We'll just hit the concede. Our opponent had the perfect counter to get out, but what we had was we wasted 7 Don, essentially, and 2 of those Don were gave Mac and rested, so we wasted 5 Don. We could have swung, what would it have looked like, 7k leader, probably 6 on that, 13, and then 4 with the Newgate, so we would have swung 13 and 14, just perfectly being out of the way of their Don was, because they only had 12k counter. So we would have won if I hadn't forgot that Laboon existed. Bit of copium, yeah, but it's true. It really is true. So 3 wins. No, this isn't a win. Okay, 2 wins, 2 losses. This was just from a misplay on my end. Don't blame the deck, blame me. I just didn't open my eyes for a second. That's what happens sometimes when you get fatigued from playing a lot of these games. More excuses, by the way. I hope you did enjoy this though. This funnily enough, this Mihawk game was probably my most fun game I played because it showed the deck very well. Also, the Shanks game at the start was a cracker, getting the 9-cost Zoro, or the 9-cost Sanji into the 8-cost Newgate, double attack, and remove something on that same turn. That was just a chef's kiss. Hope you enjoyed all the same. I know not every game was a win in this, but a lot of these games were learnings, and also Red Blue Marco was a difficult enough game to collect gameplay for. So if you appreciated that, do please leave a like. If you don't like it, then you're probably not watching up till this point. I don't think you are. And if you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate you doing so. It helps out a lot. It means the world to me, and it's just a good thing to help me keep going. Thanks again. Thanks so much. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye now.